Johnny.
Johnny Carson was a late-night TV legend, and Carnac the Magnificent was just one of the reasons why.
Spam and Jim Baker. Name two things that'll be in the can for the next 18 years.
Carnac knew the answers before he ever heard the question.
Dear John.
Dear John.
What's another name for a moose toilet?
Look where we have found a modern-day Carnac, right here at Houston City Hall. Meet Houston's Carnac, the mayor's right-hand man, city garbage boss Harry Hayes. For nearly a year and a half, Hayes and his boss, Sylvester Turner, have been fighting tooth and nail to keep their emails about recycling a big top secret. Recycling? Really? Who would ever have thought that Mayor Turner could turn the environment into a scandal? But he did. Mayor Transparency is spending your tax money, even ignoring a judge's court order to turn the records over. Luckily for him, the Democratic DA is just letting him get away with it. But ask yourself this question: why is the mayor still fighting so hard to keep the secrets? City Council voted in January to award a potential 20-year pricey recycling contract to the very company Turner wanted to win, Spanish-owned FCC. Carnac knows. In December of 2015, the city of Houston was finalizing a long-term recycling contract with an entirely different company called EcoHub, chosen to make Houston truly green after years of choosing. The company had arranged $850 million in private money from big corporations to build plants all across town that would take all our garbage and turn it into new products. EcoHub promised to save tens of millions of dollars in landfill costs, money for firefighters, flood control. EcoHub and city lawyers were set to finalize the deal. But now, new emails expose Harry Hayes and his secret effort to undercut. Just weeks after Sylvester Turner was elected mayor, Hayes sends an email to an Austin consulting firm hoping to get introduced to the head of a Spanish company called FCC, quoting, "Can you make an intro for me?" Then he actually solicits FCC to come to town to make a pitch for a deal that another company had already won. Quoting, "Is FCC planning on siting a facility in the Houston marketplace? Move quickly, as I have pressing decisions ahead of me in the very near term." Hayes even knew where he wanted to build the new recycling plant. Quoting, "We're a one-sided town right now with Waste Management's 2 sites in West Houston. We need facilities in Northeast and Far East Houston. Put me in contact with some folks from FCC." Hayes knew Houston had won and spent every penny of $1 million grant to lead the nation in a new recycling direction, finding a way to turn trash into treasure, eventually eliminating the need for landfills. That FCC solicitation was kept secret from City Council. EcoHub was kept in the dark too, and in the following months, we now know Hayes and Turner even tried to manipulate the language of a new recycling bid to make sure EcoHub would have trouble even competing. The mayor was even willing to kill a huge federal grant for U of H that EcoHub was involved in. But why? In October of 2016, the mayor announced a new bid for recycling. Months later, announced the winner, FCC. EcoHub cried foul. The mayor got testy.
What your memo says is that the contract is nearly finalized. I have it.
Why are you carrying 1 bin's water?
I'm simply curious about something.
But
Sir, I have asked your administration numerous questions.
And I am curious as to why you are carrying a vendor's water.
Council members smell the odor of the FCC deal.
It just doesn't smell right. It just doesn't make sense. It appears that we're keeping people in the dark instead of answering their questions. Is that a fair assumption?
The mayor was forced to redo the last part of the bidding. The controller cried foul about transparency for a minute. Then Chris Brown failed the transparency test and caved. FCC won again. Color me surprised. Mayor Transparency tells us that FCC won fair and square, and you don't have to know how the sausage was made and who actually voted to give them the deal, what the math was. You don't have to worry about it, even though you paid for it. The mayor now fights to keep you from seeing just how far he and his buddy Carnac went to manipulate the results. Maybe it's just a coincidence. I mean, how could Harry Hayes have possibly known that the very company he tried to get to do business in the city back in December of 2015 would actually end up winning? And how could Hayes possibly have known that FCC would want to build a plant in the very area it ended up building one? Maybe it's not so sinister. Maybe Harry Hayes is just like Carnac.
You're on a roll. You're on a roll. Shut up. How can you tell if you're ever woken up in a Cannibal Jack in the Box? If you're ever woken up, I don't know.
EcoHub founder George Gitchell had warned Houston that recycling the old way was coming to an end. And now look at the headlines. Texas cities suddenly facing calls for higher prices for recycling. The New York Times suggesting that recycling may actually just be ending up back in the trash. Maybe Houston cheated the real Carnac.